Hello, Lisa from Dippy Dyes here. I wanted to introduce my manipulations, it's a good thing, class, which is about making patterns in your fabric when you dye it by scrunching it, shaping it, twisting it, tying it, manipulating it in a variety of methods. So I have some samples here to show you that we'll go over in class, and basic 45-degree kind of flag fold. If you open it up, you can see it gives you a grid pattern. And when you put dye on it, this is a pretty subtly colored one, but you can see the 45-degree angles and the color that creeps in from depending on which corner or edge you stick into the dye. I beg your pardon, I have a few boo-boos from working in the garden. There's another. No, now see, I'm supposed to be all prepared here. There it is. This was dyed, not dyed, but it's a bound up sample. And I'm going to put a little shade, throw some shade here. It's just a square of fabric that's been twisted up and tied with thread. But we're going to look at how the different patterns that different binding threads or twine or even rubber bands, good old classic tie-dye, will leave for you on your fabric. So here are 3 quick samples. The twine that I just showed you around that bundle, doubled up a twisted cord and a very light, heavy thread, really. It's an upholstery thread, and same shape, but it leaves different marks behind. And I think that's pretty cool. You can do some cool things by pressing pleats in to your fabric and applying dye. And I decided this sort of looked like Cookie Monster when I held it up. These are 2 more of the spider webs, like the first things I showed you, and just quick little, I call them caterpillar pleats across the bottom, where you fold the fabric up and bind it. And this is a good example of why twine is more convenient than a rubber band, because if this was a very large piece of fabric, it would be very difficult to get the rubber band into the middle. And depending on the fold, you can also leave a mark, an undyed area, with a binder clip, which is how this was done. This was a little bit less successful. I folded it up real nice and I put the binder clip on the edge, and it's kind of neat, but once you sewed this to something else, if you were a quilter, your pattern is gone down into the seam allowance. Sorry. There's also a fold for making a 5-pointed star. This one happened to be done with discharge, which is removing color, but it's the same process. So I teach at my house, at the studio, with 1 or 2 people indoors. If you have a small guild of 6 or 8 people, we can work outside in the driveway, so we need good weather. And if you are a big guild, I can come to your site, and we need a place to pour dye and chemicals away, like a bathroom, that is not the kitchen sink at the church kitchen. So I'd love to come out and speak to your guild, teach you some things about manipulations that go with fabric, at least, fabric and dyeing. And there are links in the description below. So check me out on www.dippydyes.com, and I hope to see you at your guild. Thanks.